All right, begin. We now have the Wave King Caesar with the double special summon negate. We set the impermanence into the back row here. Off the top of the deck, we have the Magikey normal monster going into a Link Spider. Okay, what did this do? It changed it something. You could normal summon in addition. What? Did that do nothing? I don't understand. Reveal a Magikey, then this, you can normal summon during your turn in addition, then we went into Typhon anyway. Okay. We held our Call by the Grave. You have to understand, this is a mind game. If we set Call by the Grave, then they would have been able to activate Grave. If we wait with the Call by the Grave, which we know that Lacrima is only activatable during the opponent's turn, so it was a safe bet to just keep it in our hand and not set it and wait. Finger, the Requiem. All right, and Lacrima still spins herself back into the deck here. So they lose both of their Fiend-type monsters, as we have another Lacrima. So we had a choice. We could have fingered the Lacrima, but then Requiem would stay in Grave, and we may be thinking they still have a Light Fiend in Grave. But now in this instance, they have the Lacrima, another copy, or the copy they could have just drawn into, to now be making plays where she should be fingered. She should be negated. We have Lurie activating to Reborn. We're going to drone Lockbird here, but as I was saying, it's not so good to drone Lockbird against Fiendsmith if they have already activated the Tract or don't need the Tract. We're going to fuse to the Graveyard, come forth into Lacrima. Lacrima on summon is going to be grabbing the negated and banished Requiem back on the field as we now go into a Fiendsmith sequence. Burn for 1200 as we further fuse with the Graveyard into a Desiree. Now, Desiree is not 3,000 attack, meaning once we go into the Ignumde, that triggers the Desiree to send the Typhon to the Graveyard. And then we can swing for 18, right? No, swing for 18 first. That would be more damage, right? Is it more damage? Is 18, then swing with the boosted Desiree, then equip sequence of main phase 2 more damage? I don't have the calculator. You calculate it for me. What was more damage? Did we lose out on some damage? We have Magnificent Magikey, which is going to be negated on its effect to reborn the Magikey normal monster from Engrave. You miss damage, but not lethal. That's important. Now, this super boosted Desiree can negate non-targeting up to 5 cards on the field. And it can't be targeted. How do we deal with it? And you gotta be thinking, we are in a drill beam meta. So if you're ever thinking, should I Wave King Caesar over the Desiree? The Wave King Caesar is immediately 2 special summon negate. But if everyone is playing Drill Beam, you cannot Drill Beam the Desiree here. You could Drill Beam the back row to try to turn off its negate, but it will still have a negate because it has 2 equip cards. So in every instance, because of how popular Drill Beam is, you gotta go for Desiree instead. I think so. We have the Engraver, Reborn, going into Little Knight on summon, banish a card on the field. We're going to Veiler, negate the Little Knight. Little Knight cannot jump off the field. How? How could she jump off? She could not target the Desiree. So she eats the Veiler negate into a scoop, mate. All right, let's go. Primite Roar is the way, summoning a Deputy from the deck here into a Requiem. Requiem's going to jump off, come forth into the Crimson Tier, send from the deck an Engraver here. We're going to return back the Deputy, as we're now going to be equipping the Requiem onto Lacrima, come forth into the Princess. Why do we have to Nibiru here? Because 2 level 6 Fiends equals Wave King Caesar, which negates the Nibiru. But we have Nibiru ourselves, so negate. And just like that, any other special summons would not be activatable, which would be the Phantasme on our Link summon. If we wanted to go into a Requiem or a sequence, the Phantasme would be triggered. We're going to Lordy Load, summon for the deck. Now, remember that special summon monsters cannot activate after you activate the load. So if they summon a Wave King Caesar, then they activate load, they done goofed. You now get to Nibiru their field. Don't hold Nibiru, activate Nibiru, tribute off the field. So there was an instance where activating that Nibiru was actually a mistake if we could have foresaw that they would summon Caesar, then turn off their own Caesar by activating load, which you then Nibiru their entire field. I don't know how you'd see that coming, though. They maybe would not have used the second effective load if they're fearing a Nibiru. We're going to reborn the Requiem. We have the Phantasme attempting to trigger to summon itself onto the field, and then it would negate Drill Beam. Anti-Drill Beam play has now been negated. What else we have? We have another negate on the way of King Caesar. We do have Drill Beam. We also have a Fiendsmith in Paradise. We also have Ogre. We have Quadra Disruption. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yup. Grab the Tract as the Lacrima Crimson gets the Paradise and Graveyard. And now on this special summon, or any special summon, which would be the Lurie special summon possibly, we may fire off the Fiendsmith in Paradise, which is exactly what we're doing. Fiendsmith in Paradise, send Desiree to send the Lurie to the graveyard. We still have our additional normal summon. As the Engraver attempts to reborn from a grave, we could wave King Caesar. That's exactly what we do. Negate. We have Drill Beam. We have Ogre. 2 more Disrupts. Lubellion searching for our Bestial Druiswarm. Druiswarm banishing the Magikey from the graveyard. We're going to Drill Beam right then and there before the Lubellion sends the Druiswarm to the graveyard. Now we have the Ogre. We had another disruption. I keep forgetting this one. The Primite Roar, if we have a big normal monster on the field or in grave, on their normal summon, we could then target our normal monster. Thus, we then banish any monster that's less than that attack. Less than 23, non-target banish. And it doesn't even have to be that monster. If they had another monster on the field that's less than 23, you non-target banish that monster. Barrel Recycle. Back to our hand since we have a normal monster on the field or in grave. We know they have Nibiru. We do not know that they have Phantasme. So we are going to still be... So you may be thinking, like, how does this happen? Well, in the TCG, this would have activated before you could even activate the Requiem, because that's the TCG trigger rules in hand, which I don't like. And it's going to now be summoning and just draw 1. Thank you very much. And it will be able to negate a targeting effect. Draw an Ash. Okay. Now, the best use of Ash was at least going to probably be on that Requiem. Now we have the Desiree being sent to the grave through our own Fiendsmith in Paradise, send a card in the field to the graveyard, getting rid of their normal monster. Now, Requiem's going to equip to send the Phantasme to the graveyard, which the Phantasme will not only negate, but also destroy, getting rid of the Engraver. Now we're going to use Ogre. Ogre is not going to negate. It will destroy the Phantasme, opening up the field, as the Engraver is negated and destroyed. 3 more summons. This is public knowledge. We know that Nibiru is there. I was trying out Magic Arena recently, and if a card is ever revealed in any way or added to the hand from the graveyard, the card stays revealed in the hand for the rest of the duel until it's used. So in Magic Arena, you would just be able to click and see that that is a Nibiru. Do you want that for Master Duel? Is that a good thing? I think there's also a TCG simulator where if a set card on the field is known, you could see it. Wipe away the field, public knowledge Nibiru, tribute off that entire field. Lacrima returned back the sequence, burn for 1200, as the barrel on summon's going to be setting up a load from the deck. Drill Beam is going to be activatable to reset while we have a Primite on the field. We are going to Link Spider into the Little Knight. Little Knight, banish away the Nibiru here. So if you're ever wondering, you look at a deck and you go, I don't know why they play Link Spider. Now, for this deck, they do play normal monsters, which can go into Link Spider. But generally, Link Spider is to counter Nibiru, because you got to turn the token into an effect monster for some other plays. Very nicely done. 1 in 1. Begin. Fiendsmith Tract. I do want to give some advice, though. If you have Ash Blossom, I think ashing the Mermail Shadow that is sent from the grave from the deck with the Prince, that is the Ash. If you're going to ash the Prince on field, I think that's a mistake. You ash the Shadow, attempting to summon for the deck. That can, in a lot of ways, just completely brick them up, because they're going to be dependent on the Abyss Spike discarding the added from the deck Dragoons. If they don't have another way to trigger the Dragoons they're adding from the hand through with the Prince, then they're getting completely clapped. Then obviously just use Droll. You don't even have to think if you just have Droll. We have Crimson Tear here getting popped away with the Ghost Ogre. wipe it. Now, of course, it is not negated, but it's one less body on the field. So ideally, the Engraver is going to have no other body to make plays with. We can't go into sequence, right? Oh, we have a Bestial if we want to. We have the Requiem, some for the deck, as we will be going into the Jerusalem play. Banish away the Ogre, send to the grave for our Lubellion, set up our Branded Regained, as we now go into the sequence. Sequence, use the grave, into our Lacrima. Lacrima on summon is going to target the Engraver, reborn itself back onto the field, going into the Wave King Caesar, and then end the turn. Okay. Instead of going to Desiree, we are going into the Wave King Caesar play. So Desiree is better against Drill Beam. Desiree is better against Impermanence. Can't imperm the Desiree because the sequence. So while the Wave King Caesar is immediately double disruption where the Desiree is just 1, unless it's sent to the graveyard, then it becomes 2. This is where it's more easily countered. That's the trade-off. We made that trade-off. Reborn our Jerusalem through the activation of the Regained on a summon. We're going to Requiem, summon for the deck a Lacrima Crimson Tear. Send for the deck here, and when calculating if they have impermanence, you do have to take in consideration, you're not considering their opening hand, because they're going to imperm the sequence. So they have to top deck the impermanence. Sequence into Valor Negate. Just like that, we are in big trouble. I don't know what the Magikey is going to do here. I assume this is dead. I don't think this is going to help it. Uh-oh, Typhon. Plan B is here. Wipe away the sequence, then non-target spin the Wave King Caesar likely. Back, or just return back the Phantasme. So the negated Wave King Caesar is activatable again. Not that we have any other special summon. Plan T. Ah, yes. Plan T. Reborn our Lubellion, trigger the Jerusalem, send the Typhon. Can we make a community contest to just make Typhon better, but not broken? There's so many different things to make it better. Just being a trigger effect on summon would at least be a little bit better. Wow. We're gonna fire it off right away. Say goodbye to that Nibiru. That is the play. We're going to summon from the deck our Prince. Prince send from the deck a Dragoons, grab the Heavy Infantry here. Dragoons triggering, grab from the deck the Poseidra. We're going to normal summon the Infantry, send Prince for the Poseidra. We're now going to be triggering both cards, or at least this is only triggerable if there's a card in the field. So we're going to reborn a card from the grave. This is actually a Marincess deck. Joke's on you, what the heck? Now, if you are holding on to your impermanence for the Sea Angel, which is a good imperm that, but not now. It can't be targeted. This ensures that every water monster behind it cannot be targeted by card effects. So very smart of PJ Styles. Rip away Nibiru, protect from impermanence, and then get popping off with Marincess full combo, which, what does full combo end on? Let's find out. Let's reborn with the Anemone into the triangle. That will be searching for the monster negate. We're gonna grab the Marincess die from the grave back to the hand. We have the Marincess Wave, and okay, so what exactly did we accomplish? In Graveyard, do we have a Shrine for a form of disruption? We do not. We have on field the Coral Triangle, which will be powered by the Marincess Wave, making it unaffected by all card effects. And what happens here is this will negate a monster of the field. It is a targeting effect. Plus we have Ogre popping in response to a monster activating or a continuous spell or trap. We then have this. When a spell card that was activated on your opponent's field resolves to negate that effect, this is mandatory. You gotta do it. So if you have some sort of bait, just do it, mate. Triple disruption. That literally, you see the hand of 3 disruption, it's still at 3 after impermanence. It did nothing. We have tracked, searching for nothing as it gets negated. Now we're down to 2. Jerusalem banish our own Engraver here. Wipe away the Mermail King, which activates in Graveyard when sent there to search our deck for a Poseidra. So our double disruption we didn't even bother using. Let's go. Now, if we remember, there is a Nibiru that now cannot be activated because we have a barrier statue of the Torrent on the field. This will spin the Jerusalem back to the hand. where otherwise if sent to the grave, it would have sent a card in the field to the grave that was special summoned. We have 5,300 damage in the field. Gets set up lethal damage right through Nibiru, right through double Bestial. None of these are activatable whatsoever. Nice. Wow, that was good. That was good. Rips Nibiru, protected from Imperm, ate the Imperm anyway later, and then the Imperm did nothing. Nicely done. Lurie into Requiem. We do have a board breaker instead of a hand trap. Now, theoretically, until we get the new Master Roll where you start with a card in your hand for the turn instead of drawing for your next turn, which is essentially the turn 1 rule that they have applied. You don't draw for your turn anymore, but you don't have that additional card. Board breakers are more consistent because you have that chance to draw into them. You draw into an Ash or a Max C for your next turn, it's not gonna be as good as drawing into a Droplet or a Dark Ruler no more. But still, board breakers are worse. They're just not as good because the modern decks today, they're too multi-layered with their disruptions. They have searching for disruptions in the hand, Veiler with Blue Eyes, they have backward disruption, they have engraved disruption, they have on-field disruption. It's all over the place. Trickstar Light Stage, which could turn off the impermanence. Lacrima is going to be popping off here. Reborn into the Requiem, summon from the deck our Lacrima, send from the deck our Fiendsmith in Paradise. Very nice. Lock up the impermanence. As we now summon our Pascalis, we're going to trigger the regain to Reborn Magna Hut from Engrave. Now, there's nothing worth using the Dark Ruler no more on here, as the Chaos Angel is unaffected from card effects from monsters and also protecting every other monster, including itself from being destroyed by battle, but still not worthy of using the Dark Ruler. Now, we may want to use Dark Ruler on the Baldrake, as it will banish a monster summon for the extra deck. So right now, negate the field, as we now can safely summon the Sea Angel. Now, the Paradise is still triggerable, Engrave, which we chose to not do it. We're gonna wait on special summon. What was that? Why you flipped that out? You just like looking at their back row after you turned it off? I think so, yeah. The field spell locked it down. Their other effect looked at it. Paradise triggering to send the Crystal Heart to the grave. You go, was it not targetable or something? Unaffected by your opponent's monster effects while this is in the extra monster zone. Well, Desiree is a monster effect. You're not using the Fiendsmith Paradise to affect it. So I think we misfired our trap. We activated the trap, then we read the card and went, whoops. As we now go into Blue Slug. Blue Slug is going to be adding from Engrave the Aqua Angel back to our hand. Spring Girl is going to banish in the graveyard, come forth and summon. Further linking this up into an Anemone. We're going to be triggering the Spring Girl, mill 2 cards off the top of the deck. Is it an issue to mill the Marincess Wave? Can we add it from Engrave? What's the add effect? I think we got screwed on that. Yeah. If it's Engrave, I don't think we have a way to add it back. Whoopsies. Let's spin back the impermanence plus spinning back our Argonaut, as we are going to also be reborning 2 bodies Engrave. We have the Marbled Rock. Marbled Rock can add any Marincess card Engrave, right? Yep, any card. So we could have added, we already had the trap back. How did we add that back? How'd the trap come back to the hand? It was milled, and then where's the effect we're added back? How did it get in the hand? Is it not in the dual log? That's like a magic trick. From deck to graveyard. It's another one? Oh, it's another copy. Okay. It's a second copy. I was like, what the heck? All right. Marincess Wave is going to negate the Chaos Angel. Come forth into Fiendsmith, sequence it up, was negating the Chaos Angel, correct here? It does make the Marbled Rock unaffected by card effects the rest of the turn, but still destroyable by battle. We have another Chaos Angel, which we can't, obviously unaffected, sure. To battle we go. Marbled Rock has an effect when attacked. What? Cannot be destroyed by battle. Huh. That is interesting. Monsters cannot be destroyed by battle. Also, you take no damage, no battle damage. Seems like an old card. I've never seen that effect. When an opponent's monster clears attack, you could send for that battle. Why didn't we do more battle? It was just for that battle. It was only that battle. Come forth, Desiree. Agnumde is here. Desiree reborning itself back onto the field. Sequence get equipping. Holy baboose, 5,800 mate. Let's search our deck for another Bestial. This is crazy. Chaos Angel's got its full passive effects here. Desiree, untargetable. Non-target negate up to 5 cards on the field. The Rock is going to get negated from trying to recycle the Marintis Wave engraved back to the hand. Negate. You have another impermanence where that came from. Spring Girl into the Blue Slug. Blue Slug's going to add a card engraved back to our hand. Blue Slug also triggering a mill cards off the top of the deck. We're going to use the Baldrake to banish away the Blue Slug off the field on summon. We also have Little Knight. So we got the Desiree, Little Knight, Impermanence, Triple Disruption, plus a Nibiru. We're not going to Nibiru ourselves. So pretty much just Triple Disruption here. Let's reborn the Aqua Angel, regain triggering, reborn the Magna Hut, chain the Max C. Banish our own Magna Hut so you do not draw for Max C. Nicely done. No reborn. Max C is no good. We still have our Triple Disruption. Return back Magna Hut. Maybe draw into another Disruption. Another Nibiru. As we go into Sea Angel. I think this is a good negate. Yep. Negate the Sea Angel. I think the other Link one is bait. It's called Slug, right? Don't negate Slug. Negate the Sea Angel. Spring Girl banish, come forth. Further link this up. We still have our Little Knight. Now, Little Knight stops Anemones reborn. But we're going to use Desiree instead. Because the Anemone must summon to where she is pointing to. Thus, the Little Knight banishing stops it. And we have Zealantis, which is not a trigger effect. It activates in an open game state. We're going to chain banish. Zealantis is going to banish all monsters on the field, then special summon as many monsters as possible that were banished by this effect. Why did that part of the effect not happen? Well, you put yourself under a summon lock. The summon lock generally is going to forbid you from playing multiple different decks in one, where we are locked into only being able to special summon water monsters. Since you are the one that's banishing their monsters, and then you are the one that special summons them back in the field, you can only summon water, thus you cannot summon their monsters you banished temporarily back in the field. They are gone for good. Fully banished. Damn. Did we mess up? Yes. We should not have Desiree the Anemone. We should have Little Knighted instead. Ignumde. You could even argue that we should have Little Knighted, then chained Desiree if you really were unsure. I don't think that Anemone was untargetable in some way. Let's reborn the Engraver. What's crazy is that even with most of our field getting banished, we have endless plays. Ain't no way. The fact that you could target the banished Desiree and reborn it, huh? That's crazy. Banish with Baldrake, regained, return it back. To battle we go. Wipe out the Zealantis. Now, Zealantis does have a battle effect, but only if it is co-linked does it get to non-target pop multiple cards in the field. 1-1. Nicely done. There's no reason that I should not be able to have on with my hands more than I have fingers of turn 1 disruption. And that happens sometimes when we're watching Snake Eye Fiendsmith, where, we have 11 disruption. Like, that's not okay. Blue Slug is going to be adding a card engraved back to our hand. We're going to mill 3. We're going to Coral Triangle, discard, grab Marintis Wave, Monster Negate, Argonaut, Spell and Trap card negates. We're going to make it unaffected, mate. Wait, didn't we have the thing to make it unaffected, but we didn't? I don't understand. You equip this onto the monster, and then it's unaffected by card effects, but we didn't. Okay. We have a Monster Negate plus Spell and Trap card negate. Let's do it. Libellion. What made Marintis better? So the question is, why is PJ Styles playing Marintis now instead of before? Well, he's playing with the Mermail cards. New Mermail. Is that the best way to play Marintis? I don't know. We have Abyss Shrine, which is going to be discarding to just draw a card here, as we're negating the Fiendsmith Tract. We do have Marincess Wave to negate a monster on the field. We're going to summon the Anemone from the back row on that spell and trap card negate. Paradise Mate. Does that actually get rid of Argonaut right now? What? No way. Wait, it was untargetable in some reason? Was it? I don't even know what's protecting it. The field spell's now gone. We just had the Marincess Wave. Could we have sent her to... We are sending her to the grave, or at least attempting to do so, which turns off the Marincess Wave. So just like that, we are going to be negating Lubellion from setting up a Regained. And we also made the Argonaut unaffected by monster effects. We have Lacrima activating to Reborn the Crimson Tear, further link this off into a Requiem here. Requiem jump off, summon for the deck, Engraver, equip onto the Engraver the Requiem. We're still unaffected, so don't even try. We're gonna go into a Necrocrypt Princess, into a Chaos Angel. On summon, banish a card on the field, say goodbye to the Anemone, which is also unaffected. Is it all your monsters become unaffected, not just the one that you activated on? It says link to or higher are all unaffected. Okay, all of them. Nice. Let's get our Desiree in the field into an Ignumde. With the Ignumde, we're going to be equipping it onto the Desiree, reborning from the graveyard. Sequence further boosting up the Desiree to 5,800 attack. As we banish the Necroquip for the Baldrake, we're going to non-target negate the entire field. Mate, take out the Argonaut, say goodbye to the Anemone. Anemone triggering Engrave. Is that a reborn? It's going to add back to the hand when sent to the grave. 2,500 to the face. We already Lacrima burned, and it was not enough. 500 life left. We do have the ability to, this is a full negate. Negate the Baldrake, negate the Desiree. The Chaos Angel will not be negated. Thus, we just have the Ghost Ogre as our form of disruption. We don't have a Requiem Engrave for the Lacrima to go into a Fiendsmith in Paradise play, which we already did. We have Triangle activating. It is going to banish itself to reborn 2 bodies that equal up to a Link 3. And we actually have, even though the Baldrake is negated, the Baldrake gets the Desiree Engrave, triggering its effect to send a card in the field to the grave. So this is actually 2 forms of disruption. Very nicely done. That secret disrupt. Get the Desiree Engrave. And let's activate it. Return back the sequence. This was... I so severely underestimated this field. Wow. The Dark Ruler negated everything, so I was thinking just Ogre's good. But Baldrake gets Desiree Engrave, which sends a card in the field to the grave. That's an extra disruption. And then the Lacrima being engraved, the Crimson Tear, reborns Ignumde, reborns the Desiree, and it's now able to negate. So it's still triple disruption through a Dark Ruler no more. And this is why board breakers suck. They're just, I don't know what to say. Gotta play hand traps instead of board breakers. Because that Dark Ruler pretty much did nothing but stop Baldrake. Baldrake's banish is all it stopped. We're going to Ogre, pop the Sea Angel away. Of course, it does not negate. We also are protected by banishing the Boss Lima from Engrave, sure. Yeah, the field spell. Now, with the field spell, the Marincess Dive has an additional effect of being able to summon from the deck, not just from the grave. Desiree is going to negate. 3 cards non-target negate. The Triana is going to reborn the Poseidra, which will unsummon, send from the deck the Shadow, which will then summon from the deck into, just summons anything, level 4 or lower, Atlantean or Mermail, and the Abyssdine, sure, Mermail Abyssdine going into the Anemone. Anemone's going to be reborning from Engrave, the Crystal Heart. Is PJ Styles going to win this? What the heck are we, we're cooking. Holy moly, reborn the Triangle back in the field, come forth into Zelantis. Now, the Chaos Angel is negated, so we're gonna non-target banish the entire field, reborn the entire field back, but I can only special summon water. Sorry, I can't legally return your monsters back in the field as we have lethal damage. Wow. No, Dark Ruler no more, we didn't win. You had another turn. You couldn't go for game. Dark Ruler. Oops. Now in the TCG, You can, you know, if you did a deck profile and said that I tricked my opponent thinking I have game and I didn't, you get banned. But just don't say that. Just be like, I pushed my field forward under the effect of Dark Ruler and they scooped. Probably also don't say that, but you are legally allowed to do that. And if they scoop, it's on them. Fire King Kirin is fully unlimited, and they're also benefiting from being able to use the Impulse, a very good special summon negate. So what are our forms of disruption here? We have Sylvia to negate anything, Arvata, which will negate a monster effect, Imperm to negate a monster in the field, Ogre to, in response to a monster activating or a continuous spell and trap, get poppin', Quadra Disruption. I'm gonna grab an Escape of the Unchained, activate the Tracked Chaining Forbidden Droplet, sending 2 cards to the graveyard to negate the entire field of monsters. So with our board breaker, we broke half of their disruption. They're now down to 2. Imperm and the Ogre. We're going to be discarding Ash as we grab the Starfire, not grabbing a Lurie, interesting. We're gonna turn Starfire into the Musketeer Max. Musketeer Max is gonna be summoning 1 monster from the deck per backrow card the opponent controls. Imperm, negate. Okay. I would have maybe considered chaining Ogre and Imperm to it. Obviously, you got to Ogre first, then Imperm, because we know that they're going to go into the Requiem, right? And that their normal summon's already been used, and they didn't have a Fiendsmith playing Graveyard until now. Crimson Tear, send from the deck the Engraver. We have our 1 Ghost Ogre. We could Ghost Ogre in response to the Engraver, pop in a card. If we Ogre the sequence, the Fuse still goes through. Like, this is not good to Ogre. Don't even bother. Now, Ogre can be used on Desiree negating. If it attempts to negate, you chain Ogre, it gets popped, it now negates nothing. Because on resolution of the negate, it checks the link ratings that's equipped onto it to see how many cards it's negating. We're gonna pop the Shivara, Reborn the Shayama. We're gonna be attempting to link off with the Arvata, which this is actually a good use of the Ogre. Destroy and stopping the effect. When destroyed, we're going to add a card engraved back to our hand that is a Fiend. As we are going to Shayama, pop the Escape to pop a back row card. It's optional, there's no back row card. We're also going to summon a Shivara from the deck. We're going to sequence equip onto the Desiree. Let's get to it. Arvata has nothing to Reborn. Ponyx will trigger in the damage step. Desiree does not negate activations, thus it cannot negate the Ponyx, search in for the Sanctuary. As I guess we're going to negate Sanctuary, then follow up with Diablo Star. Wave King Caesar cannot negate Diablo Star, but also can negate Diablo Star. It can negate the effect of Diablo Star on the opponent's turn because she has a colon only at that time. She is colon-less on your own turn. As you can see, the first line, no colon. On this line, there's a colon, thus it would be negatable. Not that line. Where's the other one? This one. Wrong colon. Don't get confused on the colons here. This one. This colon is what the Caesar will negate. But no one really uses that effect. We're going to Ponyx, add back to the hand after it was destroyed. Hollowed as Amina, return back Sylvia. As we now activate the Sanctuary, Desiree may be waiting to negate the Fire King Island. There we go. Negate. Now, we don't know for sure that they would have the Fire King Island already in the hand, so we wanted to wait for the Fire King Island activation for the deck. Otherwise, it would look really bad to follow up activate from the hand after negating the Sanctuary. You have the Diablo Star, as I stated, was not negatable by the Caesar because she has no colon. We're going to be searching for the Skyburn. Skyburn, pop 1 card on the field, taking out the Wave King Caesar. I gotta say, just an observation. Wave King Caesar has been easily outed. I keep on seeing it being easily outed. It gets impermed, it gets popped. It's just not as good as the Desiree, even though it's got double special summon negate. Now, of course, we have both. Snake, Eye, Oak, send the Link Kribo, summon from the deck our Flamebirds, which cannot target the Desiree. We have to be careful. We know that if we get Desiree Engrave, well, they're going to get it engraved through their own play, that it's going to activate Engrave to send a card we control to the graveyard. So Hi is thinking, I don't want them to make a Promethean Princess. let's get disrupted. Or let's just Fire King Island, wipe away the entire field instead of going for the heat. Oh my Jesus. Now you're supposed to have the, I guess the Sanctuary doesn't protect from this, right? The Sanctuary protects from destruction. Why do I have to scroll this far? I'm already committed. This is, okay, there it is. This states that if your field zone card would be destroyed by card effect, and that was a send, not destroy. Otherwise, wow, there you go. Honks add back during the standby phase. Shavara, Papa, and Desiree was a great form of disrupt. And just like that, high, deserving this win, 100%. Nicely done. Sanctuary got negated. It does not matter. If Sanctuary was not negated, could it have prevented the field spell? And the answer was no. Lethal damage. All right. Max, Ash, Nibiru. What do we have here? Besides the Nibiru and the Ash, also the Call by the Grave, you what, mate? We have the Flame Burge, which will be reborning the Mask Arena, going into a Little Knight Double Banish. We have Promethean Princess, which will pop on Special Summon, and if we have a way for, I don't think it's going to be kind of on them to trigger the other effect, the Amble Whale, so I'm not going to be considering that as a form of disruption. So we have triple disruption plus the Ash, the Nibiru, and the Call by the Grave, 6 disruption plus the Max C. Hit him with the C, Flame Burge, reborn the Mask Arena. Forbidden Droplet is going to negate the Flame Burst from summoning that Mask Arena. Got Board Breakers. Nicely done. So what we have left is the Promethean, Ash, Finger, and Nibiru. Quadra Disrupt. Ooh, Magical Musketeer is going to summon up to 2 cards from the deck here with 2 back rows. As the Promethean, of course, wipes it out, but that is okay. It does not need to be on the field on resolution, as we got double body, but we are under max freaking C. Let's go into Requiem. Oh my, now we have the Kirin, which could pop to trigger the Amble Wheel of another form of disruption. We're gonna finger the Requiem. Now we have 4 other forms of disrupt. Banish, the Requiem. We have the Tract, Ash, Negate. Like, this feels bad, right? You want to be interacting with the core of their deck. The core of the deck being the Snake Eye cards, the Fire King cards, even the Promethean. But then you're getting fingered, you're getting ashed, you're getting Nibiru'd, you're getting ogred. Like, what the heck is this? Let's fuse the graveyard into the Lacrima on the resolution. We can't Nibiru unless the Kirin pops the Promethean. Understand that. Which then triggers the Amble Whale to non-target pop a card in the field, which we can now use Nibiru on the resolution or whenever we want. Let's trigger the Amble Whale. Oh, we held on to Amble Whale effect. All right, Nibiru it up. Why waste it, right? Don't even need to Amble Whale. Get popping. Flame Burge is going to trigger, reborning 2 level 1 fires from Engrave. Now, thankfully, when drawing imperms off of your Fool Oster Max C, those cards are not activatable. Let's reborn a Curry Card Divine Card. If you somehow survive the Max C challenge, I will tribute away your entire field anyway. Let's summon the deck of Shiyama as we now go into a Lord of Yama. We are playing through a Nibiru. Shavaro trigger as we search and set. We're going to grab an Unchained and set an Unchained. We want to pop that set Unchained to summon another body from the deck. What was our main play to play through that Nibiru? We just have the juice. We're going to be linking off with their opposing monster, Ogre. Oh my gosh, we can't. Hi cannot catch a break. You what, mate? Destroy, completely nullifying the effect. Trigger the Yama, reborn from Engrave. Trigger the Soul of Anguish, add back from Engrave to our hand. We have already committed to our normal summon. Aruha is still activatable. It can pop the back row, summoning itself, plus summon a monster from the deck. We're going to Shiyama pop the back row instead, reborn, trigger the effect, summon from the deck. 17 cards left in the deck. Set the Abominable Chamber, pop it. We didn't activate it yet, so again, summon another body from the deck. Further link this up into an access code talker. Now, if we have a Veiler, we on Resolution can negate it. We don't have anything to stop it. Ain't no way. What is going on? Aruha popped the Sarama. Sarama is going to summon from the deck a Shavara. You have another Nibiru, of course, not activatable. We're going to banish a Dark, pop a card in the field. I don't think we have any other attribute. Yeah, we just had one pop with the access code Talker, unfortunately. We have Garunix triggering off of a fire monster being destroyed, which will pop from the deck a Kirin, which will then pop the access code Talker as we summon the Volcanics. We could have just surrendered, but I think this was the better play. Thank you for showcasing how much you could do under Max C. Let's get to it. We have Ash, which we didn't pop an Unchained card to summon for the deck. We have the Ash ready for the Requiem, which the finger will be fingering our Ash. All right. Max C. In the standby phase, Garunix is activating. We're going to negate the Garunix from Reborning. No field wipe for you. The Diablo Star effect is something from the hand will not be negatable. As we have Shavara setting up the escape from the deck. Discard, come forth, Diablo Star. We do have the ability to, right now, before the activation of the Deception Sinful, link off with the Diablo Star into a Little Knight, banish it away before it activates, and just like that, we scooping. Wow. 2-1 victory. Let's go.